episode number 152. Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hello, and welcome to the show. I'm excited to talk about this topic today because it is a topic that impacts your decisions massively, but isn't always talked about enough. We're going to talk about money and the fact that you can make a career change without necessarily having to change your income for the worse. Often the assumption is that career change equals pay cut, and that isn't a reality for many people who make a career move. So I want to talk to you about how you can be viewing the opportunity around potentially increasing your income or generating the same level of income, just working in a different way. So let's dive into this really important discussion about income and money as it pertains to your career change. So one of the things that comes up time and time again, and literally I was just speaking to someone who mentioned this on a call, just is when you are thinking about making a career move, income is a big issue potentially, because if you've worked hard to get to where you are, if you are a lawyer, if you're a high achieving woman, if you have worked hard to earn a certain income level, so if you're earning in the high 5 figures or in the 6-figure category, it's likely that you've built your lifestyle to suit. So you have commitments, you have financial commitments, maybe you have school fees, maybe you have various different commitments, right? You have a mortgage, things that you have to make sure that you're able to maintain. And you may well be the primary breadwinner in your family. So in order for you to make a move, it has to be a move that allows you to maintain your lifestyle. But oftentimes when people think about making a career change, they assume that any change that they make is going to result in them having to take a massive pay cut. And so I want to address that today and really talk to you about, well, how can you make a career change without necessarily changing income? Because it is totally possible. But before I kind of dive into like a couple of things that you need to think about and things that you can put in place to make sure that that's possible for you, let me share a story with you, because I think it's always good to see the context or like have an example, because if you haven't seen it, if you've not done it before, then you have no frame of reference for you. So let me share with you a story of one of my clients that I worked with. So she was working within her organization for, I can't remember how many years it was. It was a substantial amount of years, maybe like 6 years or something like that. So she's working within her organization. She had been passed up for promotion time and time again, and she was feeling undervalued. She was feeling like she knew she could be offering more. She knew she could be doing more. She knew she could be earning more in her role. And she was really frustrated. So when we started working together, she had identified a new role within another company that she was really, really interested in. So she went for the role, she interviewed for it, and it turned out that she didn't get it because it went to an internal candidate. She didn't get the role, but what the process allowed her to do was see the fact that another organization was willing to hire her and pay her more money to do a slightly different job. And so it boosted her belief. It boosted her belief in herself and what was possible for her. So then when she went back to her organization, instead of being in the mindset of, I'll just get my head down, I'll just do the work, hopefully at some point they will recognize that I'm working hard and I'm making a contribution and they'll give me a pay rise or a promotion. Instead of being in that state of mind, she became more proactive. She recognized that she could bring value. And so she had some conversations, some difficult conversations. But ultimately, long story short, she ended up making an internal move within her organization. And get this, she made an internal move within her organization and increased her salary by 51%. 51%. I remember when we were like working out, she came back to me. She's like, Janine, I landed this role and this is the salary. And we were like calculating what the percentage was. Like, I was saying to her, do you realize that you've just landed a 51% increase in your salary? She's like, I know, it's amazing. And I'm sharing this story with you because oftentimes when we're thinking about making moves, it can feel it can feel scary because you secured the level of income or salary that maybe you haven't reached that level before. So you've only like just made it to whatever income level, whatever threshold you've met, and you've built your lifestyle to suit. And so it can be scary to think about making moves, but sometimes making a move can actually open up opportunities for you to earn more. Because if you're within an organization, you might be getting like a maybe 2-3% salary increase year on year. But when you move from one organization to another, there's opportunity for you to negotiate your opening salary. There's opportunity for you to negotiate the benefits that you get. And there's difference in terms of value and perceived value. So what to one organization might seem like their highest band to pay for a certain role, to another organization that might be the base. And so understanding that as you move within organizations and as you move within industries, there's different frameworks in terms of pay. There's different remuneration packages. There's different expectations. So making a move doesn't have to equal pay cut. I think the reason why people say that or feel that if I make a move, I'm going to have to take a pay cut is because they are equating kind of making a move with starting again. Or, you know, if I move away from this role and I go into something different, that means I'm going to have to start at the bottom and I'm going to have to work my way up. That isn't necessarily the case. If you know how to articulate the value that you can bring and the skill set that you have is valuable to the organization that you're moving into and is really relevant to the role that you're going to do, and you can demonstrate that you can bring results, then it is possible for you to command a decent salary or a high salary, whatever it is that you're looking for. I think it's important to really think about, what am I telling myself around what's possible? And do I have data to back that up? Am I basing this on fact or am I basing this on assumptions? Because if you're assuming that any move that you make is going to result in a pay cut, the likelihood is you're not going to take any action towards looking at what the alternatives could be. And I love the quote by Martin Luther King: take the first step, even though you don't see the whole staircase. And I think it's really important because sometimes, depending on your personality type, you might be someone who needs to see the whole picture before you can take any action. Like, you need to understand, well, how is this going to work? What is the evidence to like back up the fact that I would be able to land a role? Where am I going to find these opportunities? Who's going to pay me that much? You might need to see and understand all of that before you take any steps. But the reality is, you're never going to be able to see the whole thing laid out. But if you take no steps, you're definitely not going to make a move, right? So sometimes you have to take a step. And the first step is for you to start figuring out, well, what would I actually want to do? What type of role would I actually want to move into? And then when you've identified what type of role you would want to move into, then you can start looking at, well, is it going to be possible for me to earn the right type of salary? Like, what does that look like? What is required for me to make that transition? You can go into all of those things down the road or up the staircase, but let's like take the first step and make a decision. Are you going to pursue a career change or not? And if you are, give yourself the time to actually pursue it, right? I always think of, you know, like when you're driving in the dark and you have your headlights on, you can't see where you're going beyond like just in front of the car. And as you drive, the road gets illuminated on your way, right? You don't see all the way down your whole entire journey. You just see the next part of the road. And sometimes it's like that when you're looking at making a career transition and you're looking at making any type of change or any type of progression. And so stop trying to figure out the whole picture, but understand that you can be strategic about the moves that you make, but you have to make decisions around like, am I actually going to make a move forward, or am I going to allow my assumptions to hold me back? Am I going to allow my assumptions to make me stay where I am without even exploring what's possible for me? And I think that in terms of answering the question, like, how can I make a career change without changing income? I think the biggest thing is not necessarily the strategy. Like, there's strategies that you can implement, but it starts with your mindset. It starts with your mindset. In order for you to make a career move without having to take a pay cut, you need to shift your mindset. So instead of having the thought or, you know, the belief that it's not going to be possible for me to make a move without having to take a pay cut, you can shift that. And instead of focusing on what's not possible, asking yourself the question, how? like, how could I make a career change without taking a pay cut? Like, what would I need to do? What would be required? What type of move would I need to make in order for me to do what it is that I want to do? So you're moving away from that kind of disempowered state to an empowered state. Like, you can take action that can lead you to the result that you want to achieve, but you have to really like believe it. If you don't believe it that is possible, then it's really, really difficult for you to take the action that is required. So really, first thing is like shift your mindset. Start asking yourself, well, like, how could I make that move? And how could it be that I could transition into another role? If my client hadn't taken that first step, and for her, the first step was to apply for a role within another organization, if she hadn't taken that first step, she wouldn't have had the confidence boost, and she wouldn't have had the understanding or, you know, the exposure to the fact that another organization would pay her at a much higher rate. And so with that understanding, she was able to go back to her organization with a different type of energy and then command a 51% salary increase. So that first step was a vital step. But like when she was in it, she thought, you know, I'm taking that step and hopefully I'll land that role within that organization. That didn't pan out. But what did work out was that the organization that she'd been in for years, where she had been overlooked for promotion time and time again, saw the value in her. And so she was able to increase her income. So I hope that that's inspiring for you. If you've been saying, yeah, I've just got to stay where I am because, you know, like I can't move because I've got to maintain this income and I'm the main breadwinner and it's not okay for me to make a move. It's totally possible for you to make a move and not take a massive pay cut. There's possibility in that. But first and foremost, you have to decide whether or not you want to move towards that. And you also have to like decide which beliefs you're going to hold on to. Like, it's not possible for me to make a career move without taking a pay cut, or I'm going to figure out how I can make a move and maintain my same salary. So that's my encouragement to you. Like, shift your thinking around it, because it is totally possible for you to make a change and maintain the salary that you've worked so hard to acquire. Are you ready to make bold career moves? Are you tired of coasting in a role or career that is no longer a good fit for you? Are you ready to create more of an impact through the work that you do? And are you ready to get paid more and be recognized for your brilliance? If you are nodding your head or saying yes to any of those questions, then lean in, because I'm about to tell you about my newly enhanced coaching program. The Career Changemaker program, formerly known as the Career Clarity Academy, is my signature coaching program, which is a transformational coaching experience focused on helping you to develop and advance in your career. The program will help you to clarify the type of career move that you need to make next, create an unapologetic vision for your career direction, and leverage your existing experience so that you can make the transition as quickly as possible. It's also going to equip you to articulate your value so that you can really shine and attract stellar opportunities and negotiate those amazing offers. We want to be moving you into the right role that you're really excited about as quickly as possible. I created this program and the Career Changemaker method because it pains me to see so many amazing, brilliant, talented women fall into the category of coasting female professional. And what I mean by that is there are women who are coasting through their day-to-day at work, who are complaining to loved ones about the work that they do and the environment that they're in, who are scrolling job boards looking for inspiration but not taking any action, who typically do what others think they should do rather than what they really want to do, and who feel trapped in the careers that they've built for themselves. What I really want to see is more women adopting the career changemaker status. A career changemaker is the type of woman who makes an impact through the work that she does, who is excited to talk about her upcoming projects, who knows how to network strategically to create new opportunities, who is unapologetic about what it is they want to do and why it is they want to do it, who recognizes new opportunities during seasons of change, and who is really ready to take control of her career so that she can become a trailblazer in an area that she's really passionate about. If you like the sound of becoming a career change maker, then I invite you to make an application for this program. Now, it is an application only program because I want to ensure that only the women who I know can get results will join this program so we can hit the ground running and move you to where it is you want to be. So if this sounds good to you, make an application. You want to head over to lightboxcoaching.com/program, PROGRAM. And there you're going to book a call with me and be directed to a career change assessment. Once you take the assessment, you're going to identify where it is you need to focus in the career change process. And we will have a discussion to see if the program is a good fit for you to get you there and whether you are a good fit for the program. The investment for this program is going up on the 1st of December 2021. So if you are listening to this before that time, I encourage you to book a call, make your application as soon as possible so that you can get in at the current rate. So head over to lightboxcoaching.com/program. I look forward to hearing from you. If you enjoyed listening to today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode. I invite you to head over to our Career Changemaker community over on Facebook so that we can continue the conversation over there. Head over to lightboxcoaching.com/join and it will direct you straight to the group. I look forward to seeing you there.